As one of the world's richest men, it's safe to say that Mark Zuckerberg can do pretty much anything he pleases. So if he decides that he wants to spend billions of dollars creating the Metaverse, there's not much anyone can do to stop him. But just how much is the highly ambitious project going to set him back? Today, we are discussing reports that Zuck has pumped up to half his net worth into the project. Let's get straight into it then. What's going down? Mark Zuckerberg is telling anyone who will listen that Meta and its Metaverse are going to be the future of, well, everything. If the Zuck is to be believed, the new concept will impact our lives on every level. But all that technological advancement doesn't come cheap, no sir. It was reported late last year that Meta's Reality Labs division lost $10.2 billion in 2022. I mean, I don't care how rich you are, leaking that amount of money is sure to hurt anyone, whether you're the richest man on earth or not. The news of the staggering losses was followed up by another insane loss in the first quarter of this year, as the company is thought to have burnt through another $3 billion, meaning that this whole project is fast becoming one of the most expensive in history. But is it all worth it? Many people have suggested that it possibly isn't, given the fact that interest in VR seems to be limited. When coupled with the fact that many investors seem a little put off by the idea as well, then this has seen Meta's stock drop considerably. The company was worth around $400 per share just before their first huge loss was announced at the end of last year, but compared to today's stock price of just $159.30, alarm bells are surely ringing at Meta HQ. What have you guys made of this shocking loss? Let us know below. What exactly is the company doing with VR? At this point, Zuckerberg is committed to the project and will not simply cut his losses. Having acquired Oculus back in 2014, Meta have been incorporating their tech with their own, which is what Reality Labs have been working on of late, and the company hopes to bring VR headsets to the masses. The most affordable headset the company has brought to market so far is the Meta Quest 2, which has now been available for the past 2 years. However, potential buyers of the product won't have been impressed, as Zuckerberg's company recently announced they are to increase prices of the headset by $100. Of course, this is almost certainly a knock-on effect of the catastrophic losses the company has suffered over the past couple of years, and Zuckerberg is clearly attempting to pass on those losses to the customer. The base model will now cost $399, which in the current cost of living crisis is pretty ridiculous to expect someone to pay that for a VR headset. Of course, Zuckerberg probably has no idea about this, given his status as one of the world's richest men. A recent MetaQuest Twitter post said, "In order to continue investing in moving the VR industry forward for the long term, we are adjusting the price of MetaQuest 2 headsets to $399.99, 128 gigabytes, and $499.99, 256 gigabytes, starting on 8/1/22. Shocking, really. Will you guys be buying one? So what has been the reaction? Well, plenty of followers on MetaQuest Twitter feed had a field day, with most asking how parting with an extra $100 would benefit the user, with most agreeing that it wouldn't whatsoever. MetaQuest also doubled down on their stance, saying, "The costs to make and ship our products have been on the rise. By adjusting the price of Quest 2, we can continue to grow our investment in groundbreaking research and new product development that pushes the VR industry to new heights." Our collective hearts bleed for them. The company also revealed that they will be offering a free copy of the music game Beat Saber, but considering the fact that the game retails at $29.99, many people viewed the news as simply a slap in the face. I mean, that makes up just 30% of the increased price, which hardly represents great value for money. Other fans went even harder at the company, calling the price increases sheer greed, whilst others suggested that the new policy could come back to hurt Meta in the long run. Another commenter on Twitter added, "Boy oh boy, this is a terrible look. You don't see Sony or Microsoft adjusting the prices of their consoles to a higher price point years later," which is of course true. However, Sony and Microsoft haven't pumped anywhere near the amount of money into their product as Meta have, so probably aren't facing the same pressure from shareholders. Give us your reaction below. Next up, Meta has been blocked from acquiring a games company. Stay tuned. As we all know, Meta have just increased their prices on something which has been sold for considerably less for the past couple of years, and fans can hardly believe it. However, they also attempted to buy the company responsible for one of the most popular VR fitness games out there. Meta were set to part with $400 million for the independent company, which brought Supernatural to market, which provided users with a fun way of keeping fit during those dark lockdown days of the pandemic. The game was a universal hit across multiple age groups and demographics, and was even a hit with those who had never played VR games before. But trouble was on the horizon for Meta, as the Financial Trade Commission, FTC, decided that it would be blocking their purchase purchase. According to FTC Bureau of Competition Deputy Director John Newman, instead of competing on the merits, Meta is trying to buy its way to the top. He then went on to suggest that Meta was already in the fitness app market before again accusing Zuckerberg's company of trying to buy market position. To add insult to injury, Newman then claimed that the acquisition was illegal before saying they will pursue all appropriate relief. Meta is clearly worried about their failing product and the amount of money they have wasted in recent years. But at the same time, to change the game and implement visions, companies are going to have to part with some serious cash. What do you think of the FTC putting the blocks on this one? News of Meta canceling engineering job offers next. Don't go anywhere. Zuck doesn't seem to be able to catch a break at the moment. To add to Meta's recent sieve-like money worries, one engineer has recently come forward to explain how his job offer was retracted by the company shortly before his start date. The North African tech worker was all set to move to London for what he described as a life-changing opportunity before receiving a call that abruptly inserted a full stop into his plans. The engineer was due to start work in 3 weeks, but a Meta recruiter contacted him to reveal the job offer no longer stood. He said there was nothing that suggested they were rethinking their decision, so it came as a shock. They called me on Monday, and my flight was supposed to be on Friday. He claimed to be part of a group who were set to begin work on Meta's Discover Production Engineering program, which is Meta's program which provides opportunities for people from non-traditional backgrounds. Apparently, the company canceled the program, but the person in question asked to remain anonymous due to the fact he was asked to sign a document preventing him from making disparaging comments about Meta. This is thought to be part of the hiring freeze announced by Zuckerberg earlier this year as he attempts to bring down expenditure. I mean, we're not surprised given how much capital the company is currently leaking. And finally, Meta has warned of a Facebook data breach. Yesterday, October 10th, Zuck's company warned Facebook users that as many as 1 million users could potentially have been affected by a data breach, which could have resulted in their login information being stolen. Meta staff have apparently detected as many as 400 malicious Apple and Android apps which have been designed to steal Facebook login information. Of course, having your Facebook account hacked is nothing new, but it's still a worry nonetheless, as many people use the social media platform as one of their primary means of communication. The company has revealed that they will contact those who are thought to have been affected by the breach, but it is thought that the malicious software is disguised as games, photo editors, and other popular apps. You are probably familiar with websites which ask you for a simple Facebook login, but this seemingly innocent process is how many hackers steal their victims' information. So it is thought Google have removed the offending apps from the Play Store. What do you guys make of this? Pretty crazy, right? As usual, thanks for joining us today, and why not do us a big favor by liking today's video whilst also sharing it with any Meta enthusiasts you might have lurking on those socials. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more great content in the near future. Bye guys!